Hey everybody, it is Mac over here at Go for Games. I am joined by my best friend Matt. He's going to show us how to play Marvel Crisis Protocol. So Matt, this is a game about superheroes. So we're punching each other in the face, right?
I mean, mostly, but this is a game about superheroes, so it's more about saving people, right?
I really think it's about punching people in the face.
That's also why he never wins any games.
Uh,
But let's go to the table and let's explain that a little bit further.
okay.
So, in Marvel Crisis Protocols, there are two main types of scenarios. Each game will be consisted of a combination of those two. The first types are called extractions, and you can see these represented by the red items. If your characters are close enough to these, they'll be able to spend some power, pick those up, and hold them.
Mhm.
You also have secure scenarios, which are represented by these blue items. If your characters are close to those and remain close at the end of the turn, the people who have the most amount of characters around each one of those scenario points will control those. And
Okay.
at the end of each round, you'll earn points for every one of these extractions that you hold and every one of these secure points that you control. And by doing that each turn, you'll accumulate points, and the first person to 16 points wins. And that's how you win in Marvel.
Man, I totally missed that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really bad at games, guys. So, movement. How do we get to go around the board? What is it that we do with these characters? How do you move in the game?
So each character has a different stat card, and it represents those characters and how they operate. On those stat cards, one of the key elements is their movement stat. So they will use a different type of measuring tool that we can see here for characters who move short, like Juggernaut, or characters who move medium, like Colossus, or even characters who move farther than that, which is long, but
Hmm.
we don't have any because all of our guys are a little on the slower side. What you'll be able to do is you'll take one of these measuring sticks and place it so that the curved edge touches the base and
Hmm.
hooks in, and then you can bend it in any direction you like. Then this character can pick up and move and end anywhere touching this. So you can end right here, you can end over here, or you could go all the full distance. And
Okay.
that's how you move in Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Cool. So now that we've figured out how to move around the board, let's get to the exciting stuff. How do I punch stuff?
Of course.
Attacking.
So if we go back to our character cards and we look at the top portion of our card, your character will have multiple attacks shown by the symbols with either a fist, a yellow energy swirl,
Hmm.
or a blue psychic attack. You'll choose one of these attacks, and looking down the stat card, you'll see if your character is in range. So each one of these show a different range modifier, 2 through 5. You'll take the corresponding measuring tool to see if that character is in range. So for Beast, I'm going to come off frame. I could see that Juggernaut is well within range 2 of Beast,
Oh,
and then he could attack them.
okay.
You'll then create a dice pool, an amount of dice equal to the weight of the attack. So in this case, 5 dice, and then go ahead and roll those.
All right. I got some exclamation points and some swirlies and some blanks.
Right. We would sum up the total amount of successes on your attack,
Hmm.
which will be exclamation points, swirlies, and even explosions.
Ah,
And then your defending character will roll the amount of dice equal to the defense value of that type of attack. So if you had made a physical attack and Beast had 4 physical dice,
hmm.
he would roll 4 dice. And we'll just total ours together and see who has the most. If you have
Okay.
the most, I'll lose health equal to how much you beat me by.
Okay.
And that's how we do attacks.
All right. Well, I mean, comic book characters have like abilities and stuff like that. So
I
how
don't
is
know what
that
you're talking
represented?
about. That's never happened before. What abilities does Captain America have?
Charisma. It's called that Rizz. Patriotic Rizz.
So old. No, no.
Anyways, so like Charles Xavier, he is the uh, mentor of the X Men, and he has like superior telepathy and things like that. How does that represent it in the game?
Telepathy.
Telepathy.
Yes. We'll keep going with that. Effectively, under all of their attacks, you'll find different superpowers that characters have. These characters will have one of 4 types of superpowers.
Hmm.
If it is a star, it is a leadership, and your entire team will be affected by that ability. Each character who is a leader has a specific leadership, and it is unique to that team.
Okay.
If it has 3 lightning bolts, these are reactive abilities. Reactive abilities are used whenever their triggerings can happen. So for like Captain America, he can defend people with his shield when somebody else attacks. So he can defend his friends, or he can even defend himself by boosting his armor.
Okay.
If they have infinity symbols, these powers are always on,
Mhm.
and they just do something, and you have to read each character card to see what they'll do. There's a myriad of abilities throughout the game. So if we were to look at Crossbones right here, he has an ability, I can take it, and then every time you hit him, since he's a pretty tough guy, he takes 1 less damage.
Okay.
And then finally, you have plus sign abilities. These are active abilities characters can use while it's their turn, and these abilities will each do something different. So every character has something specific. Crossbones has a hit and run, so he can shoot you and then walk away with 1 action using that ability.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So you're talking about actions. So how do I determine how many of these things I can take in a turn?
So the basic structure for a turn in this game consists of 2 actions for each character. You may move, you may attack, you may do what is called shake it off and remove a condition off of your character, or you can use any of your abilities, like hit and run, that have the keyword action on it. You can use any combination of those 2, including doubling up and doing the same action twice, and basically that's a whole turn for a character.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I also like to call the shake it off action the Taylor Swift. I'm here all week.
I'm not here all anymore.
All right. So could you show us an example of how maybe like the Juggernaut moves around
Sure. So
with powers and stuff?
it's important to note a few things about this game that may be different than other games you've played. Terrain in this game is extremely important, but it also has a size rating. So if we take any piece of terrain and we look at the bottom, we can see there's number 2. So this is a size 2 terrain. Characters themselves also has a size.
Mm-hmm.
So characters like the Hulk are physically very large. Whenever you move, if we look at Juggernaut's card, he is a size 4, but if we look at this piece of terrain, it's a size 3. Because he is the same size or larger, he can walk over these with no problem. So if he wanted to visit Ultron, he could easily hop right over this and then attack Ultron with no issues.
Ah, I like it. This is where the punching happens, right?
This is where we do the punching again.
Ah, that's my favorite part.
That's the only part you ever do.
I know. But what about Charles Xavier? He's got a big base. Can he move through this type of stuff too?
So base size does not actually affect your movement, other than the fact that whenever you end your movement, your base cannot overlap any piece of terrain.
Okay.
Charles Xavier is a size 2, so he could easily get over this with his flying chair. But this piece of terrain is far too large for him, because this is size 3, and him being only size 2, he could not walk over this one.
I see. So, obviously, the terrain is a very important part of the game. How do I hit people with terrain?
So this is legitimately my favorite part. But let's not tell anybody I said that. As we've said, terrain each has their own size.
Right.
And the bigger piece of terrain you hit somebody with, the more it hurts. So Juggernaut has the ability to throw pieces of terrain with certain tactics cards, which we can discuss later. But if he were to take this piece of terrain, which is size 3, and throw it at Ultron, what you will do is you will remove the piece of terrain from the board, draw a straight line from Juggernaut to Ultron, and make sure that there's no intervening terrain or models. If there's not, the terrain will collide with Ultron. You'll take the size of the terrain and add 1, so 3 plus 1 is 4, and Ultron will be taking 4 damage. He may reduce that damage by rolling dice equal to his defensive value against physical attacks, and this is called a dodge roll. Ultron has 4 physical dice, so we would roll 4, and we can see we get 1 success to block that, and so he would take 3 damage.
So these aren't successes in defense, they're only successes with attacking?
Correct. Okay. These are successes for attacks, these are for defense. These will be successes for either.
And then I saw you had a skull. What does that mean?
So before getting to that, let's shift over to dice and what they look like and what they do. These are 8-sided dice, and each dice consists of these 6 sides. There are 2 blanks and 2 successes for attacks.
Okay.
There's only 1 success for defense, a wild, and then a crit. Whenever you roll your dice, let's say this was the dice we rolled. For every crit directly after roll, you get to roll one extra die. So we throw one more die into our pool.
Okay.
And then you can do any rerolls you would like. You may never reroll a skull unless you have an ability that allows it, but anything else is fair game. So in this instance, if I had 2 rerolls and this was an attack, I would pick these 2 and roll these 2 again.
Oh no.
Yeah, as expected. Rerolls just mean you get to fail twice.
That sounds very much on brand for me.
Only twice?
Okay. A lot more than that. All right. Well, Matt, you've showed us everything about Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is really, really cool. The game seems awesome and a lot of fun. If I wanted to play this, though, here at Go for Games, is there anything coming up that we could do?
So every Thursday we have free play where we as a community get together and we play the game, and we also show off some painting tips and other things like that. But it turns out we actually have a MOJOVERSE coming up pretty soon where we're going to be doing a campaign over 8 weeks where we'll all be getting together and playing through a series of different Mojo TV channels.
Oh, nice.
And then possibly might throw a little football in there.
Oh, I do like the sports ball, even though the Bangles didn't make it this season.
Or any season ever.
That's not true. They've made it. They made it to the Super Bowl
I don't remember this.
3 times.
No memory of this.
Bengals do better. Anyways, if you're interested in playing some MCP, learn from Matt, or get a chance to beat me up, I'll be playing too. We're going to be doing that here at Go for Games on Thursdays. That's our Marvel Crisis Protocol night. It's our Atomic Mass Games night.
Right.
So you can play other games like Shatterpoint, Marvel Champions, Crisis Protocol, all sorts of stuff. All the games in their library. So definitely come out and see us. Definitely for the MOJOVERSE. It's going to be a good one. Thanks, Matt.